Actually, I'm coming from the biggest wine city in Austria, so there's more than Grüner Veltliner. Good afternoon, and thanks, Jan, for the opportunity to speak about the future of energy trading. We live in a world where geopolitical instability and issues are right in front of our door and impact our everyday lives. We live in a world where the last months have shown how dependent we are on fossil fuels. It's even increasing your bill, electricity, gas at home. We talked about it more than 2 decades, nobody listened. And we live in a world where the impacts of climate change are already tangible. And it's our duty to act now before it's too late. I think some trains we have missed already, maybe we catch the last one. What is needed and what was the answer of the energy industry was like subsidizing renewables, building a lot of onshore and offshore wind parks, building a lot of PV, and we thought the thing is done and the prices go down and everybody is now like, oh my God, it's got more expensive, right? The thing is, and most of you will be well aware that renewables are fluctuating and you need the counterpart, the flexibility to efficiently integrate them into the grid. And it can be any kind of flexibility, right? But what's most pressing for the future is energy storage. And the International Energy Agency brought out a report, and just think about that number. It's 942 gigawatts of storage, of energy storage. I put in brackets below the number where we've been 2020. It's 17, right? So just that you get an idea how big this problem is. I'm Jürgen Mayerhofer, CEO and co-founder of Enspired. I have 20 years of energy experience, and guess what? It doesn't matter. I've also 20 years of software engineering experience, and that matters because the markets where flexibility is traded are available since 2015, and they're driven by algorithms, by software, by machine learning models. They're not driven by human experience in energy markets because what you learned 10 years ago is not relevant now. Have you ever tried to trade a battery with all technical restrictions in a continuous market with 200 products at the same time across 2 delivery days? That's just not doable. In our previous company, we supported more than 40 of the biggest European clients like Iberdrola, EnBW, Verbund, Total Energies with software to accomplish this, right? After selling the company in 2019, we headed out for a new venture, and we created Enspired, a fully digital trading company. Because what is the biggest problem of incumbent players? You build your trading floor, you build your organization, you build your culture, and suddenly somebody wants to sell you a software and says, hey guys, go digital, right? I've sold that 15 years ago as a consultant and still nothing changed. So going digital requires to rebuild something from ground up, and that's what we did. So we're an active player, we're registered on the exchanges, we have our TSO contracts, and our customers are any type of flexibility customers. So we trade pump storages, thermal plants, batteries, aggregated CHPs, because every single piece of flexibility will be needed if we want to reach the goals we have in mind. Our intention when we founded the company was to help clients participate actively in the energy transition. So not selling something to a TSO and waiting to be called, but really actively managing their assets and by chance getting value out of it. So typically, or not typically, our clients get money at the end of the month from us as we work in a profit sharing model. And what was more important in the last 5 to 6 months, the volatility, the so-called super bad bill increasing volatility, it started enabling use cases that haven't been feasible commercially a year ago or 2 years ago. I'm talking about virtual batteries out of CNI scale batteries. How do we do that? That's the business model, basically. We offer everything out of one package. So if you come to us and say, okay, I have some idle flexibility, I can ramp up or down, or have an electric boiler, whatever, we do the rest for you. We trade on the exchange, we settle everything with the TSO, we have the platform, we have the data, we have the models. So basically we have everything. We're your extended trading arm, no matter how big or small you are. Now you could say, guys, yeah, that's trading as a service. That's there for 2 decades. I have it for day-ahead markets and I have it for ancillary services. But if you take a closer look under the hood, the story is quite different, right? So you don't scratch on the surface, because if you look below, we leverage at the moment, of course daily and every second growing, 7.3 billion of data points to train our models. We collected more than 1 million euros just to research reinforcement learning and how to apply it on short-term power markets. This is the technology that increases your profit on the short-term market by at least 30%. So out of all use cases we have delivered, no matter where you start from, if you have bought software for algorithmic trading or if you stop day ahead, this is the minimum benchmark we have experienced so far. Use cases, I mentioned some of them. We already trade batteries, standalone. We work on co-located batteries for PV and renewables. We're going to bring live a virtual power plant with C&I scale batteries. We're going to bring live in the next 2 months a virtual power plant with aggregated CHPs running partially on gas. I know that's bad now, but luckily they're already switching also to hydrogen, so the engines can do both. We have e-mobility in place, so saving up to 40% of electricity costs just by adjusting the charging profile. So we see an EV, I'm driving one since 7 years, like any other consumption flexibility. And in the future, we're participating in some tenders, also vehicle to grid for an aggregated virtual battery. We trade pump storages, thermal plants, and we have more than 500 megawatts of renewables that we balance out internally. So our portfolio itself is balanced as the market should be. So we have way more flexibility than we would need for our own slightly above 500 megawatts. So the story in short, we founded the company in 2020, January. It was the perfect time to found it, right? A month later, I was evacuated from a vacation because of Corona. Then the energy crisis started, and now we have the war in Ukraine. Still, actually, it opposes a lot of potential for us. We've closed our Series A in last October, 7.5 million euros for investors. 2 of them are here. You will see Fabian from Emerald Technology Ventures directly afterwards, and I think half an hour later, Terry from Helen Ventures. So they do a great job in supporting us. We've grown to 47 colleagues, but the number is not the exciting thing. The exciting thing is that we have these people sitting in 5 nations, so Corona basically are in 5 countries. Corona forced us to do that, and we have 20 nations. So we have a truly diverse setup, not just what you would expect from the old energy industry. And way more important, and I want to close the message here again, we have 64% of people working in tech. Cloud platform, data scientists, software engineers. We have former traders that we converted to software engineers. So we have people from NEAS, Centrica, Steag, Syneco, etc. So of course there is some domain knowledge needed. So you cannot just sit there and throw data in a model. But still, from that point in time, a model is trained, it works on its own until it's built, right? So no human intervention at all. We've delivered all the use cases, and the goal of the Series A was, or is now, to scale geographically. We're trading in several markets. You see the others marked. And we're tackling the first global market 2024. And at this point in time, we may have to fundraise again. End of next year, beginning of 2024. Thank you.